Calling all duelists. Melffy deck profile. Alright, so I mentioned that I was going to do this profile in the other video, so here we are. We're going to do it. So I really like the artwork of these cards. I think that they're adorable. I really like Wally, Fenny too. It's just kind of a fun kind of archetype. Probably not that fun to play against, just because there's so much activity during your opponent's turn. I think that generally that's just sort of something that is frustrating in the game when like you're trying to get like a combo off and then like every 2 seconds like something else is activating on your opponent's field. So I try not to overdo that when I'm like playing people because I don't want them to feel like I'm just like playing solitaire while they're like trying to do their thing, but it's kind of a thing where a lot of these effects activate when your opponent does something. So we'll get more into that in a second, but I think we'll just start at the top here. Effect Veiler, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and then Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring for my hand traps here. I like to do one of each just because of Called by the Grave, I think it's called. Yeah, so that is what it's called, Called by the Grave. So it banishes a card in your opponent's graveyard and then they can't use cards with the same name, essentially, for the rest of that turn or whatever. So if we play around that by doing one of each, then that card kind of loses its power. And that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they kind of have something to kind of counteract hand traps, so it's fun. Again, Time Wizard, one in every deck. Love that little guy. Very fun. Favorite artwork in any card he's really fun. Actually, it might be a tie. Time Wizard of Tomorrow also looks really cool. It's part of it's like the anime when like he spins his little dial thing and he's like time magic, and then like I watch the YouTube channel Simply Unlucky too, and that's like a joke with all of his stuff where he also thinks it's funny that they say that. But yeah, if you haven't checked out his channel, Simply Unlucky is like this really cool Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber that opened his own card shop in California, which is really cool. It was like his lifelong dream, and I'm really happy that he was able to do that. And then one more shout out here. I took a lot of inspiration for this deck from Dark Armed Duelist, which is another Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber. So yeah, we have our Time Wizard and then Nimble Momonga. This card is pretty old. I don't know exactly when it came out, but kind of an outdated effect here. It has to be destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, but then you can special summon any number of the same card from your deck. And they go into face down defense position. Plus you get a little bit of a life point boost when they do hit the graveyard, but only when they're destroyed by battle. So it kind of happens more often than you would think. Obviously there's a lot of removal in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but in this like game specifically, like people attack into stuff a lot too. So it's kind of like a gamble, but it's also like, I don't see why not, because I like having any like level 2 beast monsters on the field for this deck. It's like all of the Melffys, and then they go into like these XEs down here, which we'll get into. I guess now is a good time to kind of mention that the card is, like, the deck is kind of based around Melffy Mommy. So this card is very, very interesting. You can attach a beast material to it once per turn, and then when it has 5 or more materials, it gains all of these effects. So basically what happens is you don't take damage from it, it can't be destroyed by battle, and then when it attacks or is attacked by another attack position card, the attack of that card that attacked or attacks it is just inflicted to your opponent. And because it can't be destroyed by battle, it just attacks into it anyway and nothing happens. So that's kind of cool, because it's kind of like essentially using Magic Cylinder on all the cards that your opponent has, like once per turn essentially, where you're like, hey, I choose that one to inflict damage to you equal to, or whatever. Like, I want that monster to attack you. So, it's kind of fun. I kind of like just the uniqueness and kind of refreshing kind of style of playing this deck and getting into this card. So, yeah, so getting Nimble Mumonga back out onto the field is like 2 materials for that. It's pretty cool. Kalantosa, if it's special summoned by the effect of a beast monster, most likely one of these guys, Melffys, you just destroy a card on the field, like any card. So that's really good. That's kind of like the removal of the deck. We've got 2 of those. We do have cards that can special summon from the deck, so really easy to get that guy out and just kind of destroy something that your opponent has that you can't really play around. Nimble Beaver. I believe this is kind of a newer card. I don't remember seeing this, but it kind of works with the Nimble archetype. It's kind of like when he's normal summoned, you can special summon a level 3 or lower Nimble monster from your deck. So one of these or another Beaver. Again, just getting level 2 beast material out for one of our Melffy XEs down here. And then Fenny. So most of the Melffys have this effect where when your opponent normal or special summons a monster or declares an attack against them, they go back to your hand, and then you special and then like they all have a unique ability. So beyond that, Fenny special summons a beast monster from your hand. So what's cool about that is you can go into Kalantosa, because they are a beast, you can destroy any card on the field. That's pretty cool. You can also go into another Melffy and then use their effect. So Caddy allows you to add a Melffy, or any beast monster from your deck to your hand. When they go back to the hand, when Puppy goes back to the hand, you special summon a beast monster from your deck, level 2 or lower beast monster. When Wally goes back to your hand, you can special summon 2 Melffy monsters from your deck with different names. That one's really good. And then Penny is kind of a unique one. If a beast monster was returned to your hand, then you can kind of special summon them out and synchro summon on your opponent's turn, which is really unique. When you go into Merry Melffys, you can pop a monster back to the hand, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's all of them. Most of them also have the ability to, I don't think Penny does, but the rest of these can just special summon from your hand during the end phase, which is cool. You know, that's pretty unique and kind of fun. You can, if you have 5 in your hand, and they all have different names, because I have 4 total, so I could do it with 4, you could technically special summon 4 of them at the end phase. So pretty good, not too bad. Rescue Cat, it's kind of good to get 3 of them out on the field so that you can go into one of your material or XEs down here. Regeki, and then Harpy's Feather Duster, just good general removal. Monster Reborn and Melffy Tag is just sort of graveyard recovery. This is specifically for Melffy monsters, but still pretty good. So Change of Heart, it would be good probably in any deck, even if like I wasn't playing it the way that I am, but I'm running 2 of these in the hopes that I would also get DNA Surgery. So the reason why I do this is because Melffy Mommy has the effect that you can attach 1 beast monster from your hand or face-up field to this card as material. And there's no limit to the amount of material it could have. Like if I already have 5, I could just keep going, but if I turn everything to a beast monster and then use Change of Heart, if it can be targeted, I can just kind of steal a monster that they have and keep it as material. So that's pretty cool. Dark Armed Duelist had Obedience School in his deck, and it's like perfect for this. Kind of the same situation with Rescue Cat. It's just like you can special summon 3 level 2 or lower beast effect monsters with different names from your deck, but they're negated and destroyed during the end phase, so you pretty much have to use them for Xyz material. But it's worth it, so it's pretty cool. When you get one of these in your opening hand, that's ideal, because then you're like, okay, so now I can go into this like Xyz monster pretty easily, and the sooner you get them out, the better. I would say that the only downside, or the biggest downside to the deck, is the lack of protection from removal, because you're immune to battle, but you know, like, Regeki is just going to wipe out everything pretty quickly. So that's where Melffy Hide and Seek comes into play. It's just like the first time each beast monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect this turn, it's not destroyed. And then its second effect just sort of recycles your graveyard and has a little bit of draw power, which is also good. But mostly we're looking at this first part where it's like you have to use 2 layers of removal to get rid of this stuff, and that's pretty good. You know, it's not too bad. So yeah, I'm playing 2 of those just because they kind of, if you have more than one, it kind of clogs you up and you're like, I don't really need more than one of these right now. But yeah, Pot of Prosperity, just kind of banishing whatever I'm not going to use in any given situation, and then just having a little bit more draw power. This one's kind of cool because you just look at the top 6 cards of your deck and then draw 2 or 1 of them. And then we have Megamorph, just for a little bit of like an attack boost. I think it's this one. No, Joyous Melffys. So if you detach a material from this one, Melffy monsters can attack directly this turn. So that's pretty cool. Not too bad at all. So if we had lower life points, that would be really good with this. You would attack with whichever one had this first, and you could potentially do like 4,000 or something, so not too bad. Mystical Space Typhoon, just, you know, just spell and trap removal. Kind of good to have something that's like set to kind of disrupt what's happening. Not to negate, but just sort of get in the way of maybe a continuous or field spells that might be a bit of a threat. And then Evacuation Device, just always pretty good. I'm running 2 Phantom Knights cards. This one down here is just sort of an extra layer of protection. So if the monster equipped would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you just destroy this instead. And then I'm not using that second effect, but not too bad. You know, you would attach that to Mommy or something else just to prevent them from getting destroyed, but yeah, not too bad. And then this one right here special summons itself as a level 2 monster. It's not a like beast monster or anything, but we would use it to go into this guy right here. What he does is you can detach a material and then negate the effects of a monster your opponent controls. And if it has a Phantom Knights card as material, like this one right here, you could use it after it becomes a monster, then that becomes a quick effect. So you can use that when your opponent's about to do something that you really don't want. You can just completely negate their monster, and then it also turns their attack to 0. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. This one's really good. Kind of another thing for hand trap negation. Also just disrupting normal archetypes too. If something that activates in the hand, your opponent just doesn't get to use it, and then they take 2,000 damage. So not too bad at all. So that's everything on the main deck. And we're going to move down here now. We already went over Merry Melffys. The second effect is if it's targeted for an attack, you can return this to the extra deck and then special summon a Melffy monster, a Melffy Xyz monster from your extra deck. So not too bad. They would have no material in that case though. which is not ideal. But, you know, just kind of like a little bit of like a disruptor. We got number 29, Mannequin Cat. You can detach a material from this card and target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, and then you special summon it to their field. If you do that and then you special summon a monster that has the same type as a monster that you have in your hand, deck, or graveyard, you can special summon a monster of your choice. So that's pretty cool. If they have something that has the Earth attribute, or just beast type, you can kind of give that back to them and then get anything out, which is pretty cool. I kind of like this to just go into if I know that I'm not going to have enough for Mommy or something else, just so that I have some sort of backup. I just like to take a moment to just like kind of appreciate how the people that made these like kind of almost wanted the people that play them to sound like goofy. I keep saying like Mommy, and it's so funny to think of this as a Yu-Gi-Oh card, because I don't know, like I just associate Yu-Gi-Oh primarily with just like watching the anime, like the original anime with my brothers, and there's like all these like super cool monsters, like you got Blue Eyes White Dragon, and it's just funny to imagine this one getting interjected where it's like, I summon Melffy Mommy in attack mode. It's like, I don't know, it's just kind of goofy to me. And we've already gone over that one, so we're going to go to Melffy of the Forest. This one just can add Melffy cards from your deck to your hand if you detach material, and then it also negates opponent's monsters and prevents them from attacking if one of your Melffy monsters returns to your hand, which is pretty cool. If they get out something, especially like Tearlaments right now, that are really good at just sort of negation, you can negate that before it really does any damage to you. So yeah, not too bad at all. Run one of those, 2 Mommies, and then Joyous Melffys. Can attack directly if you detach a material, and then kind of a similar thing going on with Merry Melffys, where they can kind of recycle. You can choose this card or another Xyz card that you have, and then special summon monsters from your graveyard equal to the materials that it had. So that's pretty cool. If you want to try and get this out by bringing back a puppy, or just Fenny to special summon a Calantosa, this card's pretty good for that. And then a lot of the Link monsters aren't related to the archetype. They're just kind of banish fodder for prosperity, or just generally good. This one would need 5 materials, so it would almost be worth it to go into this, just because this card is pretty good. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and it cannot be targeted. So it's pretty good. Pretty good like body too. So if I can get into this, I have yet to. I haven't been lucky enough to be able to pull that off, but I guess to do that you would have to do like Obedient Schooled and then open with a Nimble Beaver, because then you could special summon 5 effect monsters. But yeah, that's the whole deck right there. I'm probably going to be making another video of me testing it out, so I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a very nice rest of your day. Bye!